He is the executive director of the Center for Transportation Research, and he joins us live via Skype from Knoxville, Tennessee. Thank you for joining us. So at one point, it was estimated to update the Northeast Corridor for a high-speed Amtrak service, it would cost $150 billion. Is it money that has been holding the U.S. back?
Well, of course. I mean, it takes money to build a modern transportation system like high-speed rail, and to date, there has not been a willingness from our political leadership to provide the necessary funding for the type of high-speed rail system we see elsewhere in the world.
So, David, part of the problem for the U.S., obviously, is in expanding the service is the expansive geography. You get off a train in Tokyo, Paris, or Barcelona, and you basically walk to your destination. You would get off one in Los Angeles, and you still have to travel to get there. Does high speed really make sense in the U.S. when you consider the amount of money?
Well, an essential element of high-speed rail, as you pointed out, is connectivity at the station points to get you what we would call the last mile, either from your origin or to your destination. And we are lacking in many locations the types of transit services that would be necessary to allow people to do entirely without an automobile.
I see. Let's move on to China. The U.S. spends approximately 2% of GDP on infrastructure. China is investing $1 trillion in infrastructure through its One Belt, One Road initiative, spanning more than 60 countries. How does China stand to profit from this?
Well, transportation is a key element of the economy of any country, and so you would presume that the leadership of China has looked at this as an investment that will pay off for the nation. That's my thought on the subject.
Mr. Xi's clearly using China's wealth and industrial know-how to create this new kind of globalization. Can any country really compete with this?
Well, there may be countries that could compete. I mean, the large economies of the United States and some of the other nations, if they focused on competition, might put them in a position. But right now, I think at least in Asia, we see China as solely having the vision to make these sorts of investments.
Mm-hmm. The U.S. ranking in the bottom half of the top 20 countries spending money on infrastructure. China's taking it a step further with these trains that we've been talking about in Budapest, Belgrade, Serbia, and then they're going to be able to export their goods through Europe through a Chinese-owned port in Greece. The possibilities are really endless. Why is China ahead of the game?
Well, I think you have to look at the differences between the United States, for example, and China. I mean, we typically rely a lot more on the private investment to make these sorts of decisions, and in China, it's a combination of both the public and the private sectors, and so you can focus much more intensely on an objective if everybody is operating together in harmony. We have many significant accomplishments in transportation in the U.S., and we've exported a lot of our capabilities around the world, but it's not the kind of initiative that we're seeing coming from China.
Righty. Well, David Clarke with the Center for Transportation Research, we thank you for your time.